Dre works in an office for a business, helping out with accounting as a second in charge. But little young Vietnamese Dre has some dark secrets inside. He used to sniff chairs for a hobby. Big, deep sniffs, loud enough to wake a bear in hibernation. One day, Dre thought to himself, I want to sniff everything in this warehouse. All the big boxes, the shelves, the chairs, maybe even the new stapler. So Dre got up from his chair, walked over to the big shelf, and started his mission. He first sniffed the top of the shelf, which smelled like dust and old boxes. Then he moved on to the stapler. It smelled like metal and paper, not very interesting. Next, he tried the boxes. They all smelled like cardboard and packing peanuts, nothing exciting. But then he saw it, a brand new chair. It smelled like plastic and foam, but mostly like Kyle, the guy who sat there before. Dre couldn't resist. He had to take a big, deep sniff. And that's when he heard it, a loud snort coming from the chair. Dre froze. Was someone else there? Had they heard him? But then he realized it was just the sound of his own breathing. No one was there. So Dre continued his mission, sniffing everything in sight, until he finally moved on to the shelves. The shelves were full of all kinds of products, but none of them smelled as good as Kyle. Dre missed him so much. He wondered where he was now. Had he been promoted, fired, quit? Or maybe he was just hiding in a box somewhere. Dre didn't know, but he was determined to find out. He started moving boxes out of the way, looking everywhere. But then he heard a voice. What the heck are you doing? It was Tana. She was standing there with a box in her hands, looking at him like he was crazy. Nothing, Dre said quickly. I just needed to check on some inventory. Tana raised an eyebrow, but she didn't say anything. She just walked away, shaking her head. Dre let her go. He knew she wasn't as interesting as Kyle. Her scent wasn't as intoxicating. He wanted more. He started working again, picking and packing orders as fast as he could. But he was always late after his break. He drank too much wine and couldn't make it in time. Plus, he liked to take little sniffs here and there when no one was looking. Would it be Tana, Darren, Caden, Jack, Seb, Jaime, or Lucas? He never knew. He would sneakily creep behind them and sniff the air around without being caught. Sometimes he could smell them before he even saw them. Their unique scents filled his nostrils with delight. He could differentiate between their smells just by the way they moved and breathed. Each person had their own distinct aroma, and Dre loved to catch them all. He imagined it like a game, a fun little challenge to see how close he could get without being detected. And so far he was doing great. But he still hadn't found Kyle. He missed his sweet, musky scent so much. One day, Dre decided to take a break from the hunt. He went to the bathroom to freshen up and catch his breath. As he entered the stall, he noticed a familiar scent, the same one that had been haunting his dreams lately. Could it be? He took a deep breath and closed his eyes. Yes, it was Kyle. His scent was stronger than ever. Dre couldn't help himself. He had to take a big, deep sniff. But before he could do anything, the door slammed shut and locked. Dre panicked. What had happened? Had someone seen him? Who was in there with him? And suddenly out popped Jermaine. Dre's eyes widened in surprise. Jermaine looked different somehow. What the heck, man? Dre said as him and Lucas were now face to face in the bathroom. Don't be scared, Dre, Jermaine replied with a smile. It's okay, baby, he said. You can keep on sniffing if you want. Dre's heart skipped a beat. Did Jermaine know about his secret? Why was he letting him sniff him? But then something even stranger happened. Jermaine pulled out a camera and started recording. He whispered. Let me guess. You want to see what I'm up to, right? Dre blushed. Yeah, he mumbled. Jermaine chuckled and leaned closer to the camera. Well, then watch closely. Dre felt awkward, but also excited. This was something new. Suddenly, Jermaine stopped recording and turned off the camera. Thanks for watching, guys, he said. See you next time. With that, he put the camera back in his pocket and walked out of the stall, leaving Dre alone in the bathroom. Dre was confused. What was going on? Why was Jermaine filming him? What did he mean by watching guys? Most importantly, why was he letting him sniff him? Dre decided not to think about it too much. Instead, he finished his business and went back to work. As the day went on, Dre couldn't focus. He kept thinking about Jermaine and the video he had recorded. Was he going to show it to everyone? Would they laugh at him? Would he get fired? All these questions raced through his mind. He tried to ignore them, but it was hard. He started making mistakes at work. He was late for orders. He even forgot to put labels on boxes. His boss, Matt, noticed his bad attitude and decided to talk to him. "Hey, Dre," he said. "How are you doing? You seem off today." Dre jumped. "Oh, fine," he lied. "Just a little tired. Sorry about that." Matt nodded, but he wasn't convinced. He knew something was wrong. "Okay, but if you need anything, just let me know," he said. "No problem, boss," Dre replied. From all the fumes, Dre was dizzy. He could barely walk straight. Matt called the ambulance and sent Dre to hospital. Jermaine had gassed him in the toilet earlier, and Dre was very sick. He later went into a coma, and his coworkers would visit him. Unaware of his sniffing ways, his coma, he could sniff, but not enjoy. The end. Moral of the story is, don't sniff people. It's weird and dangerous.